How do you know when your passion for trading crypto turns into a crypto addiction? There are certain signs, I believe. I've been doing research on this lately and I've been thinking about it a lot. So I'm going to share my experience of where I'm at on my crypto journey. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Joanna Garzilli, founder of Crypto Angel Network. And I've been trying to figure out if I have a crypto addiction. And I'm going to walk through with you what has happened for me in the past couple of weeks, from my portfolio to some research that I've done. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and light up that bell to get my notifications when I post my videos. And also thank you for liking the videos if you like what I share, if you get something from it. And I appreciate your comments so much as well. I also want to give a special shout out to my dear friend in London, Roger Michael, and just wishing you a really, really speedy recovery. And him and I we were talking yesterday about where we were at in crypto. And one of the things that did come up was how it's really hard to stay away from it. Now, I first came into, just to tell you a little bit of where I was in my crypto journey, where I'm at now, and what I feel with in the process with this. So I got into crypto in 2017, December 2017. I didn't have a clue as to what I was doing. I had seen some stuff with James Altucher and Ty Lopez, and I'm like, oh my gosh, got to get in there. And we also through people that I knew were saying, yeah, you got to get in Bitcoin, and so I just threw myself in the deep end and understood nothing at that point about technical analysis, which I'm now certified in technical analysis. I'm certified in algorithmic trading. I'm certified in blockchain. I am certified in Bitcoin and a number of other things within the DeFi space. But at that point, I remember looking at a Binance trading chart and turning to my husband Nick and saying, what are these red and green things? I had no idea what any of these lines were, and somehow miraculously managed to put trades in place. Then everything crashed in 2018, and I saw my portfolio dwindle to almost nothing, and then felt awful and just let it be. Fast forward to, I got a notification from Binance saying you have 2 weeks to go and get your funds, your crypto off of the exchange. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to access your account anymore because you are based in the US. It took me around almost 2 weeks to build up the courage to try and even do the trades. I was terrified. And finally, I went in to do it, still understanding nothing about technical analysis, and somehow managed to, let me go back a step, to see that that money that had dwindled to nothing was actually worth a few $100s because the market had come back, right? It had gone out of a bear market and it had gone bullish again. It had actually gone very, very bullish. And I managed to get my tokens off of Binance onto just regular Coinbase, not Coinbase Pro. And then got into a GRT, Graph Protocol. We saw that being listed on Coinbase, and there was something I thought, oh, I have a really good gut feeling on this. I like this project very much. And saw very quickly, when was that? That was end of December 2020. And during that period between then and January 2021, started to go quite heavily into GRT. Could have, if when it hit its peak, taken really, really big profits, but still made profit. And I've got to tell you, this is where a sign for me, a red flag of where I question, do I have crypto addiction? Because something I was talking about, wow, if GRT goes to $50, $100 at the end of the year, if it goes to $1,000, maybe in a couple of years, then I'm going to have X amount of $1 million and can go and buy one of those condos they're building at the new Ritz-Carlton that they're building in Paradise Valley. But I share this because, this for me, and I can't say for you, but for me, it's a sign of greed and delusion. And but that was my thinking. I started to get more and more into crypto. I then began to do more and more research, fell in love with this space instead of just following blindly what, like I said, certain influencers were saying within the space. And I just wanted to share my journey here. And I look back now from where I am now, right now, where are we at? It's August 27th. And I go, wow, I feel like I am good at trading. I have taken good profits, and but I feel a lot of it is really, I've been very lucky, because I feel one could be an absolute, and I don't mean this rudely, and I'll say this about myself, I mean, I could be sort of like I had no idea what I was doing with the red and green candles, didn't even know what they were, and somehow could still come out unscathed without losses, because I wasn't doing margin, I wasn't doing leverage. But between end of December 2020 and up until where we hit that all-time high in May, even if you had a bad entry point, like a relative, let's go back between end of December and early April, it wouldn't matter if you had what was considered a bad entry point, because you can't really mess it up, because everything was pumping so much. And the only way you can mess up is if you got scared when there was a pullback, when there was a slight correction. But I was doing a lot of it. I was hodling stuff, and then I was doing some day trading. Sometimes I had to swing trade. For those of you who are new to crypto, when you swing trade, maybe hold on to it to a few days, or for even a few weeks, even actually a few months. But in crypto, obviously things move much faster, and it didn't matter. I was still on every trade able to make money, whether it was on SNX, whether it was on Chainlink, whether it was on Aave. Even like when Aave had hit 500 and something, and I think I bought around high 400s, and then it pulled back and that. But I still managed to. I think I took maybe I took like a $10 loss on that. But to me, it feels like it was idiot proof. For someone like me that just still didn't understand a lot of stuff. What else? I had Umex, and I had oh my gosh, a whole load of other sort of like those mainstream DeFi protocol tokens that were on Coinbase, and I had New Cipher, just a number of different things, and I was making probably not with a lot of money down, sometimes like a few hundred a trade, 1,000 a trade, sometimes 2,000 a trade. Sometimes I was making 200 here, 100 something there, even 300, 400 something a trade. It felt so easy. It felt amazing. But, I was not shorting. I was not doing leverage. I wasn't doing any of that. And a lot of that was from my research, being a US citizen, where you can only, for example, on Kraken, you can do up to 5x leverage trading. And but fast forward to that high for me, that euphoria of of trading and just seeing the money go up and up and up. I mean, amazing. Now, for me, where I really started to, I don't think I questioned addiction at that point, but I will definitely start saying, when we started to hit that peak in May, and I said I'd never go into meme coins, but I went into a whole load of meme stuff and these liquidity pools from Safe Mars to Safe Moon to Doge to, and then I got into all the farmyard animals. It was like pig. What else? Well, they're not just farmyard animals. Shiba and Akita and anything space related and animal related. A lot of it, I was in it and I was loving it. And then if I hadn't got swept up in things and I had cashed out at the top at that all-time high in May, I would have come away with close to 120,000 US dollars that could have gone cash into my bank account. But as we started to near that top, I bought more Shiba, bought more Akita, bought more, I went into Lion, and this is where it's a concern for me. Without having done proper due diligence, just going, wow, this is really cool cartoon stuff. I love the sort of the cartoon style of Lion and Shiba. Let me go and put $8,500 into a trade on Lion. Let me go and put $6,000 into a trade on Pig after it had pumped like crazy. Now having had time to reflect on this, does not feel good. But at the time, I had a frenzied sort of feeling. And then when it all started to come down and I hadn't got out at the top, but was still up on a lot of other tokens because I'd gone in earlier, months before, right around that time when my portfolio was over 100K and it was hovering between that 100 and 120K, I was experiencing physical symptoms of high anxiety. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel peaceful. I didn't feel joyful. I felt, the best way I could describe it is sort of like if I had too many cups of coffee. That's not a good feeling. Now, the other thing of where I question, am I a crypto addict, is that I cannot, and this was the conversation I was having with my friend Roger Michael in London, where I cannot stop checking my phone, cannot stop checking it, that I would wake up at 2 a.m. because of maybe some trade I've got going, and then needing to look at all the charts. Look at the charts at 2 a.m, look at them at 4 a.m. Roger was telling me from a Discord group that he's in, there's traders who have much, much bigger portfolios than I have, and they're just staying up almost 24 hours, pumping themselves up with, I don't know, whatever form of caffeine, and that it is a constantly looking at the charts. So for me, what I realized, that is not a healthy thing to, and so here's the challenge. I set up Crypto Angel Network, right, to have a channel. So the whole point is that I was doing tons of due diligence, researching fundamentals of different projects because I love DeFi. I really love what's happening in the space. But it started to feel unhealthy. Now, when the market really pulled back, my portfolio that was at that 100 and, at its crescendo, its peak was just shy of that $120,000, suddenly went down to low 30s. I'm trying to remember exactly what the number was, but I think it was around 33,000. It's a bit of a shocker, right? That's, that really shows the crash we went through. And but again, I did not get wrecked, because what I had always read online was, well, when the market crashes, if you don't sell, then the market returns, it comes back. And yes, Bitcoin historically has always come back, Ethereum has come back, other strong projects, but there are a number of projects that just they flatline. Their heartbeat does not revive. And that was what I saw happen with Lion, with Pig. I know it happened with a number of scam coins. Now, this is another thing that I started to really question, was if you already subscribe to the channel, you know I've been covering for a while, doing due diligence and just my own simple level of looking at US dollar tether and having this feeling of going, it doesn't seem to be a stable coin. It does not seem to be backed. What if it crashes? What will happen then? And then someone here, one of the crypto angels in our network here said, hey, have you seen CoffeeZilla's channel? Check out his video on US dollar tether. And I mean, you know, he does hardcore research. He has the computer science background, and it really echoed a lot of things that I was sharing here on this channel, where I was showing them a more simple level, and then other evidence that he had that was like, wow, oh my gosh. So I then started to see, eventually, it wasn't right away, but my son had said, hey mom, have you seen this video on Fraser K's Save the Kids and the scam within cryptocurrency? So I watched that video from CoffeeZilla, and then I started to see more and more videos on how many crypto scams there were out there. Sort of like back in 2017, where it was all ICOs, and a lot of people just they got absolutely wrecked. And now we have it with a lot of what I see as these liquidity pools, just put your money in, you're going to get your 5% back. Yes, so long as there isn't a rug pulling, so long as people don't pull their money out. And then I saw his video on million token, and the founder of that, who the person that created that coin, who was a senior tech leader at Google. This is what really rattled me, and said, you know, you don't need 2 kidneys. You only need 1 kidney. So why don't you just go and sell that other kidney and go and buy a million token? It's like, this guy's for real. This is crazy. There's some crazy MFs in this space. Absolutely nuts. There are people who are delusional. And the thing is that if one wants to get rich quick, to be in denial of that, I mean, who doesn't want to make easy money? And I'm going to tell you, you know, there was videos doing earlier on, because I'm like, okay, well, I want more people to see the channel. So, and certain tokens were 100xing, they were 1000xing. But I just, you know, I feel I was caught up in the mania, the frenzy of things. And so I think it's fine to be in crypto, but sort of like, if there's people who can just drink socially, they can have a glass of wine, they can take it or leave it. And there's other people that, you know, they have a glass and then they go on a binge. And I'm really evaluating right now, where am I at in that space? Because it did start to feel like an addiction for me. I started to look up certain stuff online around crypto addiction, and what, God, I see some crypto rehab places popping up. I see, definitely it is something that is there, but there's not a 12-step program around it yet. Like I've actually done 12-step around money, in a program called Debtors Anonymous, and I'm no longer in debt. I'm solvent. I have money in the bank, a decent amount, but I feel like the way that I was trading was getting to the point where it was dangerous. You know, I said, could I afford to lose that money? Yes, I could afford to lose it, but then all that hard work to make that money, and then to take that, to risk that for another level of profits. I talked to my dad the other day, who's very successful in investing, and he says all the hedge fund managers that he knows, that say if they're managing, say, let's say for example 100 million, they might take and go into crypto, into certain tokens like I've been trading and investing in, and they'll put 2% of their portfolio into it. So 2 million out of 100 million, you know, and then they can see exponential gains. But for me, if I look I got to at a certain point where it was like little by little, oh my gosh, I'm doing really well here. Let me put some more in, put some more in, put some more in. And I got to the point where it was, I hate to say it, but I mean, I think around close to 97% would have been in high risk trading. I mean, cryptocurrency is ultra speculative when you look at it in the way it moves compared to the stock market. And yes, there are some good fundamentals to a number of projects out there, but we don't have strong use cases. We're still in the nascent phases of DeFi. It's still very, very early, even though Bitcoin's been around for over 10 years. So that was, I was absolutely in denial that I had so much in my portfolio. But I felt like I was at a party. I felt like I'm at a party with you here. This is the Crypto Angel party. This is awesome. This is like when I'm at the party, and it's just like that. It's amazing, that feeling, that connection. We're in something together. But I got to tell you, it's like it was not healthy for me. And so I'm going to share with you now what I did and what I felt after I did it. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This has not been easy for me to do, for me to come on here and share this video. I've been having to think a lot. I've been having to process this because, it's just been super intense. But what happened? So you can see here, 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago. So what was the date? So August 8th. And I'm going to show you afterwards in the charts what happened. I saw my husband on the phone, and there was this post from someone that he's connected with on LinkedIn called, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name correctly, Nathan Labe. And he is a contrarian in trading. And I had to look that term up. A contrarian, I guess, is sort of someone like Michael Burry, who had, and he was saying, oh, the housing market, subprime, blah, 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 we're going to have a big crash. And I was like, oh, are you crazy? Property market's better than ever. Real estate market's better than ever. And then the whole thing, right? We know what happened with 2008. It was a bloodbath. So that is someone that is contrarian, right? Where everyone's saying, it's going up, up, up. It's going to be the best thing ever. And then someone says, no, I'm not forecasting that. I see something different. Now, if you have been with me, with Crypto Angel, and watching my videos over the past few months, I have said pretty consistently that I felt that things would really go up in August, which we have seen a rally again, and that I felt that the all-time high would be in December 2021, that we would reach new all-time highs. And it's so hard for me to know. Instinctively, I feel like that is likely still to happen, but I don't know. Like when it comes to crypto, it is so hard for me to know, because other things to factor in are geopolitical and socioeconomic, social, political, and that with things that happen in the world, that can have an effect, even though crypto is here to stay. It's not like where people say, oh, Bitcoin's, I've seen some things here off of Nathan's post where people commented and said Bitcoin's going to go to zero. I personally don't believe that. It is here to stay. We have countries have adopted it. It's here to stay. It is being moved into many different technologies. But my issue I have at the moment is that I mentioned CoffeeZilla before, because I see the scamming is off the charts. It is insanity. People are like lambs going to the slaughter. I think that we have, because of the SEC with from where we've had both the US dollar tether and then the Ripple XRP case, that is, I know the date's been pushed back. It looked like we were meant to have some type of answer for XRP and the status of that in September, maybe October, but now it looks like it's being pushed to early next year. But there is a lot of uncertainty around what the regulations look like. That is one factor. And then the other thing is that it just still, some of these things that are pumping like crazy are all just speculative. It is a potential house of cards. It is a potential massive bubble. If we look to history, it is, like .com boom, that then over 90% of those different stocks went bust. And I do feel like that is coming again. It is coming. And then there will be certain players, projects within the space that will come out strong, that will do great, and will be here for the long run. But I feel like it still hasn't been decided. So, Nathan had said here, he said cryptomaniacs are pissed. He'd said so this is back in like I said, around August 7th, August 8th. Yesterday I warned a crypto drop is inbound. In outrage, they pin me as another unwoke crypto hater, except I warned of the suckers rally back in June. Oops. So let's see what a suckers rally is. And this sort of ties in where there was the frenzy this summer with all the Wyckoff distribution and then the Wall Street cheat sheets. But I decided there was something when I saw this, and I was planning, I said, I'm staying in until the end of the year and then I'm going to take profits. But something in me, and I think this is because I didn't feel in control of my crypto portfolio. I felt like it was controlling me. And that to me, like when something is controlling me and suddenly I'm under its influence, that is not healthy for me. I have been in work within self-help as a spiritual coach and as a healer for 20 plus years. I have several books. I'm an award-winning author. I had to really question, I'm a human being as well. So I am far from perfect. That's why I do work on myself spiritually. But something just sat in uneasy in me. And I had this realization where I said, I think I need to get out. And then I went, oh my gosh, I love everyone here that I'm connecting with in Crypto Angel Network. From Cucci Sensei to Stephen Harrison to Crypto Silver Caravan and Cosmic Crypto Silver Caravan and DK Crypto and I can Rove and I can keep naming all of you. I adore you. And it's like, oh my, it's just really hard. It's like being at a party with everyone and then going, I need to leave the party right now. That's what it felt like for me. I did not want to leave the party. I was a London club girl. I never did coke or, any of the drugs or stuff like that. But I would be the one, I would be out till 10 in the morning. I'd go from club to club to club. I just loved it. That's actually how I first met Roger Michael, and I used to work for Roger, and I'm doing a lot of the clubs from Hanover Grand to Iceni to, oh my gosh, it's like I miss it. I miss those days. Now I'm responsible. Now I go and sit in the carpool line to go and pick up my son, and at the moment I'm just eating super healthy, and I'm not even drinking any wine at the moment either. So As the name suggests, a sucker's rally is meant to trick traders. It often occurs after a long-term run because long-term belief has built up within traders. Think of it like three-card Monte. Well, I haven't played three-card Monte. I don't know what that is, but I'll have to go and look at that. The con artist lets you win the first few games to gain your confidence. Then when your confidence is beaming, you lay your money down and the dealer takes you to the cleaners. Same thing in a sucker's rally. Since all corrections have bounced before, why shouldn't this one? The more bounces, the stronger the trader's conviction. Think recent biasy, illusory truth effect, appeal to tradition, hot hand fallacy. So let me just say this. When everything crashed and my portfolio was in the low 30s, I did not sell. I know some people panicked, they got out. I hung in there. At this point, when I saw this chart and I read Nathan's post, I was just over $60,000 in the portfolio. So I'm glad that I hung on. A sucker's rally is often very sharp, like currently in crypto. This violent rally subdues any rationality or doubt left in the trader's mind. Emotion overrides and throws the trader straight into FOMO mode. Well, that's what I was talking about before when I was up 400%, for example, on Shiba, but then I put even more money in instead of taking profits, and then ended up losing, having unrealized profits. And then because, I didn't just take profits, I lost more. So I was one of those suckers. A sucker's rally also preys on newbies. Well, I've done technical analysis. I'm certified in that, like I said before, and in algorithmic trading, but I'm not like someone who is on a trading desk. A lot of people who are supposedly experts here with, crypto influencers, they are not doing what people are doing, where you have to have a license to go and be a stockbroker, a trader on Wall Street within the space. A sucker's rally also preys on newbies who have been observing from the sidelines, watching everyone else get rich. They finally build the confidence to enter, like in three-car Monte, then bam, dealer wins. What happened? As crypto maniacs read this post, the rational part of their brain is saying, oh, SHIT, this guy posted at sub 30k Bitcoin and warned of this exact rally before it dropped, but FOMO has taken hold, defenses are up, and confirmation bias is rampant, which only adds up to my contrarian sentiment, happy trading. And then there was a lot of stuff that sort of people said around this, but I'm going to go over now and show you on another chart. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, wow, could this have been the all-time high in May? And then we've got this other sort of high here, and then the real drop comes. Or where I've been speaking, preaching for months and saying, I think August we're going up, which it has, and then these all-time highs in December. So what did I do next? Let me show you. All right, so where we are right now is you can see right now Ethereum is at 3,238, and I'm going with Ethereum here because that was the larger part of my holdings. Had quite a bit of Bitcoin as well, but I would say like 75% of my portfolio towards after that massive crash, when I converted a lot of other stuff, tokens I was in, when altcoins plummeted, I went heavily, the rest of my portfolio I converted heavily into Ethereum. And so what did I do back on August the 8th? And then again, following that, I did another trade on August 17th. So August the 8th, I got to tell you, I went through horrific symptoms. This is why I wonder, the come down from selling. I mean, it makes me want to cry just thinking about it. For someone who doesn't do crypto, they're just going to go, what the hell is wrong with her? But at $3,003, I traded, and that was like around $45,000 that I put into US dollar. Essentially, I then traded out my Bitcoin as well at 44,000 at that same date, at the same spot where the green star is. I sold Matic at around 110, 19. I sold my the remaining little bits of GRT. I'd had a lot. Basically, I sold a lot of my stuff. I'm going to do a separate gate video because I need to do an update on what I went through 2 weeks later, because some of you have posted in the comments. So I am going to do, it's a very, very, very important update on that, as some things that I had no idea about, changes that have happened within Gate that you just need to be aware of. I still think it's fine to trade in there, but there are some crucial things. I will get into that separately. So a few days after selling, a few days after going and selling and going on the sidelines, where I still had like $700 left of crypto, I went through what I can only describe as a depression. A depression. I could not post a video. About a few days after, right after I sold, if we look here around the 13th, you can see I went, oh my god, what did I do? Because the portfolio, if I hadn't sold, it would have had another 4,000. I could have cashed out on, say, 64,000 instead of 60,000. And to me, like from a perspective of a 12-step perspective, like that's the disease. Like, when is it enough? You know, some people, like I've talked to friends, people I know who they lost money. They didn't take profits. I've done, considering how new I am to the space, I've done pretty well. Like I said, because you don't have to be a genius to do this type of trading. But I feel like the market, why did I exit? Because having now studied algorithmic trading, I feel when I look at the charts, I see that there are a huge amount of bots. There are a massive amount of bots right now doing trading, and that the charts are just they are super volatile, ultra volatile. And let me just move this down here. The charts are ultra volatile. It just looks different. Something after that all-time high in May, it's super whipsaw, where it's like you can just see that. And if you understand about algorithmic trading, if you don't, let me just tell you that with algorithmic trading, someone can go and create a formula, a program, say for example, using like Pine and TradingView. They can plug that API into whatever the exchange is, whether it be Gemini, whether it be Coinbase Pros, and then they can see all the data, all the statistics in a way that you can't when you're trading. Even if you have certain on-chain metrics, you just get to see so much more by being plugged in. And the speed, because it's automated, the speed that they're executing those trades, when X happens, then do Y, and it's going to equal Z. And, when you're physically putting a trade in, you can't do that. You can't compete against the computer. This is where intraday trading is going to become really, really popular. So, I've seen days where I went, oh gosh, oh my God, why did I exit here? I could have taken another 4,000, say, and then boom, it comes back down, and I'd have relief and go, oh, okay, well, maybe we're going back down. And then boom, it goes back up. And, this constant up-down feeling. Now, we could get to December 2021, and I've been saying that I thought that Ethereum would likely go to 10,000 this year. Maybe possibly even 20,000 by the end of 2021 if things go parabolic. That I then, if I were to have stuck in and take profits then, I could have had over be, cashing out over $200,000, because I can't say like, well, I'm just in it to just be charitable and hold for the long term. I mean, I want to, my money's on the sidelines now because I'm looking to buy a home, although the housing market is just ridiculous right now. So that money is just on the sidelines. But I thought, what if for some reason the market crashed? I don't have that money for that down payment for the home. I don't have that. And then would it come back? Yes, but maybe it's two years or something in a bear market. And I was not prepared to take that risk. It just wasn't. So I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. That chart I showed you from Nathan, is it going to happen anytime soon? I mean, now that I'm on the sidelines, I'll tell you, I want to be right so that I don't feel the pain of not still being in things. It's probably still going to reach new all-time highs at the end of the year, and then some type of bear market's going to set in 2022. I still sort of feel like it's that. But anyway, I felt I went on the sidelines because I felt like this is getting too, like I need to step out because it's not healthy. This is not healthy for me. And a couple of the things that I'd like written down is I said, I got scared, I got rattled. Now Nathan wasn't saying do or don't, sort of like how I'll say on a video, you got to do your own due diligence. You got to do what feels right for you. But there was just something that struck a chord for me that said, this is just too frenzied. It's manic. It's a mania. And I don't want to be manic because anyone that suffers from, say, I don't know, like a clinical or a manic depression, where they go through extreme highs and extreme lows, I just know that type of behavior is not healthy for me. I said, I said, I feel like a failure. My trading unsuccessful, even though we have gains, right? I mean, like cashed out 60 grand. It's not enough. And this leaves me with a sense of grief, loss, sadness, insignificance. I'm average, mediocre. And some people that can't stand me or just haters and be like, oh yeah, you're more than mediocre. You're rubbish. I used to think I want to be iconic in Hollywood, business, mover and shaker. Now seek safety and normality normality in what I perceive as a crazy and polarized world. I just feel like the world is really, I mean, where I live, everything sort of looks normal-ish, but in other parts of the world, it isn't. So, I went onto the sidelines, and I've cashed out at the moment. And like I said, it just feels, it feels horrible. If we look at the charts here, I'm just going to, and just stick what I do for here. Ethereum, it's pretty much, for like, I know Bitcoin leads in this, but Ethereum still for all the altcoins. But if like you look at that support that is there, are we going to have that, are we, like from Nathan's chart, going to sort of trend down? I mean, if you look since the beginning of August, Ethereum, and we know for Bitcoin as well, they're holding pretty strong. So you could say, wow, I went to the sidelines right before things really go and pump. But I will tell you, I went through feeling really awful. And then after I cashed out, something weird happened for me. A few days later, I stopped drinking wine, and then now I've just been eating ultra healthy, and when I wake up in the morning, my body doesn't feel like it's gone through the ringer. I just feel more calm. more grounded. That's what I've just needed to do for me. So for some of you, I know you're hardcore in it. Some of you are very, 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 it works for you. It's not an issue. You've got a strong constitution when it comes to the volatility of crypto. But for me, I felt it's not healthy. And if you're new coming to crypto, or if you have found this video because you're going, gosh, do I have crypto addiction? You can evaluate for yourself. But I should have been feeling happy that I got to take profits, and I didn't. So more to be revealed on that. And then if we look at what's the resistance here, let's just take a look of, we're at the end of August. What does September hold potentially? Are we going to go down or are we going to go up? So let's just look at this right around here. This is the resistance. So we've got support at, it says here around 29.65. Let's just say 3,000. And we've got resistance just over 3,300, right? And right now we've got all from here, right back from where I went and cashed in. It's been, to me, it looks like consolidation. You let me know in the comments what you think. We got to me, it looks like consolidation. And let me move myself over here. It's showing a little bit overbought. There isn't a huge amount of volume. It is above above the 50-day moving average. I mean, right now it's above all the moving day averages. It's just gone above all the moving day averages. And it had fallen below the 200. And that's the thing. It's like if you're just following the 200-day moving average. But what I've noticed in the past few weeks, like, oh, we're above the 200-day moving average. Everything's okay. And then boom, it suddenly goes down again. It's scary. So my overall sentiment in crypto is bullish, and I do totally believe in it for the long run. But I just feel, because of the sophisticated traders in the space, and then the desperation and speculation, and because of these socioeconomic geopolitical conditions right now, anything could happen, anything, in a way that it just didn't feel like that earlier in the year. And so if you are in the game here and you're like, I'm sticking in this, I would just watch carefully in the days ahead to see if we break out above 3,300, then I imagine it's going to start to go up that next leg back up to that all-time high. And let me just, let me switch to 4 hour, maybe it'll show it. Yeah. Then you're going to see things start. And it's interesting, when one zooms out, we'll start to move back up to that previous all-time high of around 4,300. Because, just look at how that move happened. So definitely it looks to me like a period of consolidation. And then this looks pretty strong. Oh my God, it's just like, it's torture. It's not too torture. I couldn't have done this video a couple of weeks ago. Well, because this information wasn't here, but it just would have been too painful for me, because, it does look like there is a very strong chance of going back up to that all-time high from May. And then when would that be? Maybe October, like around October. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Maybe around October. And then, so could there be those new all-time highs that come for December? I still think it's likely. And then I will have to just deal with, oh my gosh, I left, I don't know, like 100 and something thousand on the table. But my sanity, I need to be able to sleep at night. I need to be able to, part of the challenge is that if I was just trading with 3% of what I have, and I still have my stocks, I still have my Lucid Motors, that's still down. But if I was only trading with 2 to 3%, like stuff I can afford to lose, I can only make like maybe $100 here, $200 there. Yeah, I could do a lot of day trading. It feels insignificant, and that's to me where I go, well, then this is a problem. This is not healthy for me at this point. And so I had come across at the time when I was researching, and there was this article from The Guardian that said I put my life savings into crypto, how a generation of amateurs got hooked on high risk trading. I guess I am an amateur. Yeah, I'm certified in trading, but I am an amateur. And then, it talks about how these online trading apps, the way it's set up is sort of like gambling apps. And then I even looked up, I went through the questionnaire of Gamblers Anonymous, and I don't have any of those. I don't have those issues. So I don't come under the category of a gambler. And this is I feel like this is the weird gray area of crypto trading, because like I said, I'm not doing leverage trading, margin trading, so I'm not getting wrecked in that. I have made money, but yeah, it's sort of like the way it's set up is to buy more. And I think also when I look at, say for example, even the Coinbase app, the way the candles go, the way that they have their charts in Coinbase Pro, it causes me anxiety, because if suddenly it flips from red to green, but the way it looks, I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing out. It's a visceral trigger for me, and I don't want to trade from being triggered. So I think it's really, really important to look at how these things are set up. And even with Robinhood, like I got my Lucid Motors on Robinhood. I don't buy any crypto on there. I've done that on Gate, on Binance US, and on Coinbase Pro. And initially when I came in on just the regular Coinbase, I was paying stupid amount of fees. And that's something else. When I just did these trades recently, Coinbase Pro even, oh my gosh, like it was expensive for doing those trades. It cost hundreds of dollars, and wow, I tell you, these exchanges are making their money, and that's a video I'm going to do another time on my thoughts around that. But this just talks about this. I'm going to share. Noor is whispering so her boyfriend won't hear her. The 30-something designer from London is down about £14,000 as a result of her decision to get into investing, in addition to another £8,000 profit she made on Bitcoin last week, but then lost. Nobody knows the full extent of Noor's losses. Hence the whispering. I feel so stupid, she says. I can't talk about it to my friends. I can't talk about it to my boyfriend. Noor is not her real name. It started in November 2020, around the time of the US presidential election. People expected Trump to win again, she says, and it was a weird time because it was mid-pandemic and it just seemed like this financial moment might be happening. She started reading about cryptocurrencies online, and the more she read, the more ads for trading platforms she was served on her social media feeds. Because of COVID, Noor hadn't spent much money over the year, so she bought £10,000 worth of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin online, which turned into £18,700 within weeks. I never invested before, she tells me. She'd sleep with her phone under her pillow and wake up during the night to check the performance of her Bitcoin. This is what I'm saying. This is what I did. This is what my friend Roger and I were talking about in London. He says like the same thing. He goes through exactly the same thing. And have you gone through that? I mean, let me know. Unlike listed stocks, Bitcoin can be traded 24 hours a day. And that's what I love about it. I got to tell you, it was cooking my brain, she says. I looked at it constantly. All she taught. And so this was for me, the rationalization having the channel. Well, I've got to look at it all the time because I need to know exactly what's going on. And I think, let me just say this in awareness I have now, it would be okay if I was only trading with, say, 2% of my net worth. I'd look at it constantly. All she talked about to her boyfriend was how well her investment was doing. I'd be telling him, look, I just made £400 in a day. See, that was happening to me with day trading. Noor started to fantasize about a future in which she'd never need a mortgage, where she'd invest her way to extreme wealth. That's what I was saying at the beginning of this video, where GRT pumped like crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I can buy one of those Ritz-Carlton Paradise Valley condos. Flushed with success, she pulled her money out of Bitcoin, downloaded the brokerage app Trading 212, and started investing in other cryptocurrencies and stocks. Ripple, that's what I went in back in 2017, which again, I'm just reminding you there, please, if you're not already, there are a lot of things that, the SEC want to make an example of someone, even if Ripple is right on certain things, and I see a lot of red flags there. There was a massive amount of speculation, and there's some things that look a little bit like there are issues that are shady. I'm telling you, the SEC, I think at a minimum, they will slap Ripple XRP with some type of fine. I don't know if they're going to make an example of them yet. That remains to be seen. Please go and do your due diligence on that. So Ripple, a cryptocurrency and platform companies that invest in the legal cannabis industry, psilocybin research brands, Beyond Meat, makers of plant-based meat substitutes. Never eat those. BioNTech, a German biotechnology company, businesses developing gene editing technology and psychedelic medicine and gold and silver. Nor would wake up and watch the YouTube channel FX Revolution, where a headphone-wearing Australian trader talks through the stock market's activity for hours on end, while amateur investors excitedly trade tips in the comments. She joined an investing group on the ultra-private messenger app Discord. I mean, I've done this stuff. I imagine you have too. Look, I've got a channel here with this. I'm just sharing my journey with this. I'm not trying to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. And I also, I've, in certain videos, this is how I know I'm so emotionally affected by crypto, because I've done videos, if you look back, I'm like, I'm going to hodl forever. I'm not going to trade this. I've got diamond hands on this certain thing. And then maybe, I'd hold out for a couple of weeks, and then I guess, I don't want to be the one with paper hands, letter hands. I feel ashamed for that. So, but then sometimes when I did that, I experienced losses because I didn't want to be cast out. So, this, I'm just saying, just watch for these things. I'm not saying don't invest. For me personally at this point, and I don't know, I'm saying this now, who knows? This is just what I'm thinking today. When the next bear market does come, which I believe will be sometime in 2022, then I may hop back in. And when I do, after things have shaken out, I will go in with 2, 5, maybe 10% of what I have, like 2% to hold and maybe day trade with 10%. But I don't know. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. I just need to see how things unfold, because there's too many scams there out right now. It's just too crazy for me. She joined an investing group on ultra-private messenger app Discord. It was a social thing, Noor says. Yes, being in that group was the highlight of my day. She frequented the Reddit forum Wall Street Bets, which shared tips, and in January infamously drove up the stock price of GameStop and an ailing bricks and mortar video game chain, and spent more time on Twitter, which has a huge investing community. By now, her entire news feed was about cryptocurrencies and stocks. Yes, all of my YouTube feed was on crypto, everything, all my Twitter, just everything, crypto. And she learned the language of the online meme stock movement, the community of amateur investors that coalesces on social media platforms to discuss their options while swapping memes. To the moon, followed by a rocket emoji, means a stock will go up. Diamond hands means continue to hold a stock despite market volatility. Well, tendies is the profit made from an investment. I started talking like an ape, she says. Ape is internet slang for a bullish retail investor. She couldn't read a book because she'd have to check a portfolio every half hour. My right hand was constantly cold from touching my phone, she says. My boyfriend called it my Wall Street hand. And this is the thing, when I first came to the space, and I'm looking at videos from, say, like Crypto or Carl the Moon, it's like emergency, everything's going up, everything's going down. Like, where is the true guidance, the true advice that, like, I started to look at things in a different way and feel jaded by this. Sort of like how, and I'm going to do another video on this at a certain point, but from being in the self-help coaching industry for 25 years and seeing what I perceive as disgusting behavior out of integrity, very predatory behavior. And I see a lot of predators in this crypto space. Unless you're extremely astute or really, really careful and you're not greedy, then you'll be fine. Then you'll make profits. You'll do great. But you have to really know yourself. You have to search inside yourself to see what's right for you. Let's see, let me just keep going with this because I think this is a great article. Pretty quickly, everything began to fall apart. First Ripple crashed, then in February, Noor got into the GameStop mania too late and lost even more money. You know, for those people who got in at the top, the all-time highs in May, I mean, that's it. They have to wait. They're going to have to wait. They're going to have to ride it all the way through and hope that next all-time high comes, which I believe there will be higher highs for Bitcoin and Ethereum in the long run. So she says, I couldn't, it was though, she said, I lost even more money. It was the worst time, she says. I couldn't eat. I was just constantly looking at my phone. She spent even more time online looking for stock recommendations and as a way of clawing back some of the money she'd lost or else buying what other people were investing in on the popular trading apps. By now, she stopped bragging about her investments to her boyfriend. She was too embarrassed. Now, I'll tell you what I feel embarrassed about is that I took profits and that, like, oh, Joanna, like, you don't have diamond hands. You're not tough enough. Oh, well, you just, you didn't stick with it. You can't be part of the club anymore. You're not part of the crypto club. And, yeah, I'm not cool. Like, I'm a square. I've left the party early. Part of the problem was that Noor is not a natural investor. I have no patience, and that's a disaster, she says. The bigger issue was that she had no idea what she was doing. Although she could use financial jargon fluently, she didn't really understand what it meant. She watched the film The Big Short. And I tell you, when I read this recently, after that huge crash happened, I watched The Big Short too. Yeah, I mean, it'd been out for years, but I finally watched it. I was like, I watched the movie Margin Call. I was just like, maybe if I watch another movie, I can learn certain things. But couldn't explain what shorting was. Now, like I said, I am certified in this stuff now, but I'm too scared to short. I know how to do it, but it frightens me. It really scares me. She bought stock depending on internet hype or how she was feeling on the day. Yeah, I mean, they say don't trade when you are emotional. And women, it's just like a physiological thing, especially when it's time of the month for them or, some type of hormonal thing. Women definitely are much more emotional than men. They just are. Maybe rarely a man has that more sensitivity than certain women, but in general, it's just physiological that women are much more emotional. And you may have seen me in the past cry on a couple of crypto videos. At the time we speak, Noor has lost her £10,000 initial investment, the £8,000 she made on Bitcoin, and another £5,000 on top of that. Does she view this as speculation investing? After a pause, she finally says, I see it as gambling. And yet Noor still thinks she can claw her way out. And that to me, like right there, that is the addiction. That's the addiction. Now I think I can invest, she says, but I don't know. It costs me a lot of money. I mean, if I can get back some back, maybe I can find a good place to get out. That right there, that to me, that I hear addiction. That's what I hear with that, when the mind is speaking in that way. She sounds desperate, at once self-aware and blindly deluded. And that's the thing. It's like you can flip-flop back and forth between these different emotional states. She sounds, in other words, like a roulette player on a losing streak. Now, I've never placed a bet in Vegas. Like I've never done it. I've just never done any gambling. But, and like I said, I went through that Gamblers Anonymous quiz, and I don't come up under any of those things in that category. But so this is like, to me, crypto falls into this sort of this space that is in a way is sort of an uncharted territory. It's different, like I've had different isms over the years, different isms for sure. And this feels like I hear people talk about who are in AA where they'd say, they were great, they had sobriety in AA, but then when they got into the money program, which is Debtors Anonymous and Business Debtors Anonymous, and I was in both Debtors Anonymous and Business Debtors Anonymous, they were like, wow, I discovered a whole nother level of things that I didn't know about myself. And so I feel sort of how people went from AA to DA, that with crypto addiction, or let's say Cryptocurrency Anonymous. I don't think I didn't see it. Doesn't exist yet. It's not out there. I feel like I need it. That I'm gonna have to start a channel, Crypto Anonymous. But I was like, wow, some of these things, they're not covered. Yes, they touch upon it, but it has its own set of things. This is the year ordinary people discovered financial markets through a heady combination of lockdown-induced ennui, generous economic stimulus packages on social media, memes make a reference to investing your stimmy check, and the GameStop run. There's never been so much amateur money sloshing around stock market. And this is another thing why you got to think about how so much money has gone into there. This is not the professional market. This is why I do think we are in a bubble that is going to burst. The crypto bubble is going to burst. Is it going to be sort of where Nathan Labe, who I referenced earlier, is looking at maybe sometime soon, earlier, like could it be in August, September? I think it's going to be next year still. Oh, is it not going to burst, the bubble? I do think the bubble is going to burst. We will see. Time will tell. If it feels as if everyone is talking about their stock options and crypto wallets, it's because they are. And at the vanguard of this new online-centered investment community are young people, women, and minority groups. A recent Financial Conduct Authority Commission report found that women, the under 40s, and people from a Black, Asian, and minority ethnic background are driving this DIY, which for those of you in America means do-it-yourself movement, investing in high-risk products such as cryptocurrencies, foreign exchange, forex trading, and contracts for different CFD. And by the way, on the forex thing, I just listened to yesterday, CoffeeZilla did something where he reached out to these forex traders. These scammers are off the charts. Even, in the comments of my videos, every time it's like, oh, blah, 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 Telegram group, and there are scammers everywhere. It is insane. And contracts for different CFDs, a type of investing where individuals bet on whether a security will go up or down between the opening and closing trades of the day. Contracts for differences are banned. Are banned under US securities law, nor blundered into CFD trading, and she blundered into everything else. And so, there are warnings. I'm going to do a separate video on it. But Gate right now, severe warnings on there for US citizens and also for Binance US. The crackdown is imminent. These new investors report found use social media for tips, were overconfident, invested for short-term thrills rather than long-term gain, and often did not understand the hazards. I can't even tell you, there's times where I've looked at certain people in the space when I first came into the trading, like Crypto. I'm like, wow, he's brilliant. He's so awesome. And now, a number of months later, I don't feel that way. I just don't, because any real professional trader, and don't get me wrong, I feel he does brilliant technical analysis, but I think to be an exceptional trader and to do this professionally, whether the market is up or down, you need to be to understand and have a very good understanding of economics, and what is happening geopolitically and socioeconomically, and you need to have a strong understanding of history as well, global history. So the regulator was so concerned by the entrance of these retail investors to the cryptocurrency market in particular that it issued a warning in January this year, telling people that if they invested in cryptocurrencies, they should be prepared to lose all their money. It's always encouraging to see younger investors enter the market and gain valuable experience, says Susanna Streeter of the retail investment platform Hargreaves Lansdown. But there is a concern that collision between social media influencers and the ease of use with which many people can use trading apps is causing newbie investors to take short-term speculative decisions rather than linking their investments to a long-term plan. She tells me that Hargreaves Lansdown has noticed growth of 57% in the use of their investing app in the last 6 months of 2020 compared with the same period in 2019. According to market research from Mintel, 11% of Generation Z and 13% of millennials say that investing in stocks and shares will be a priority after the COVID-19 pandemic ends, compared with just 4% of Generation X and 3% of baby boomers. Cryptocurrencies and online investment platforms have become pop culture touchstones as well as financial products and services, says Mintel Richard Shepard. This and the digital-first nature of these products means they are particularly appealing to tech-savvy young consumers. The rise of easy-to-use apps such as Trading212 or eToro has removed the barriers to entry, but much of this investing is ill-informed. I hear people talk about their crypto wallets. Streeters tells me. I question them and say, what does that coin do? What blockchain is it built on? What is its use case? They say, we don't know. It's just done really well. And this is the thing. With things like a lot of these DeFi, these liquidity pools like SafeMars or what was the other one I was going to say? It's just gone out of my head. But, a lot of them right now are built on speculation. A lot of them, XRP, that's what I was going to say. There is still, their product that they wanted to work within the banking system actually got blocked by a lot of the major banks. They said, no, we're not having this. And so they have only been able to sell a very small amount. So it does not make sense that their market cap is the size that it is based upon the amount of sales, of Ripple sales that they have. It says here, when I speak to Shane Blake, 26, a digital marketer worker from Brighton, he's in a low mood. I'm feeling a bit flat after what Elon did, he says with a deep sigh. He knows how to take money straight out of my pocket. It's not nice waking up and checking your balance and realizing you've just lost £3,000. He is referring to a social media post from the tech CEO in which he stated that Tesla would no longer take Bitcoin for payments due to high level of fossil fuels involved with the cryptocurrencies transaction, the amount of electricity used, the same carbon footprint as Argentina. With that message, Elon Musk wiped £7,000 off the price of Bitcoin. And here's the thing, it's like, you can't just blame it on Elon. This is just people reacting to news. Even though I'm not a fan of Elon particularly, but like he went out it, he went back in it. I mean, his Tesla, what was it? One of his battery plants in Australia blew up and had a massive fire. I mean, electric vehicles, it's like out of the frying pan into the fire. And look, I like I said, I have Lucid stock and I like electric vehicles, but for it to go mass worldwide, but you can't just trade off of a frenzy of everyone. And again, one of my friends I spoke to said, after he goes on Saturday Night Live, it's going to pump over $1 and then I'm going to sell. And that didn't happen. That's when we had the crash. That was the peak there that occurred. Blake started investing in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency Ethereum in January. A friend showed me how much money he'd made on Bitcoin. He says, when you see that, you go for it. I put my life savings in, like all the young people I speak to. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I put a lot of money in that if I had lost it, right, it would not have been pretty. And from the profits that I gained. Like all the young people I speak to, Blake is anxious to impress me with his fluidity and cryptocurrency jargon. Yeah, we don't want to feel like we can't communicate in crypto. He insists that he knows what he's doing and picks his investments carefully. I'm a holder of Ethereum because I believe in the project and the fundamentals, he says. Okay, so let me just say one other thing. I've done more research. Actually, it was someone here, I'm trying to remember if it's Cosmic Crypto Silver Caravan, said to me, I think it was, who said, go and check out that actually Ethereum is not decentralized. Actually I think it's over 25% of it is on Amazon cloud service, and I think it's actually in total on certain other projects over 50% is centralized. So I'm learning more and more and going, well, this is not entirely the case. And I'm still, it's like, I love Ethereum, but I got to tell you, when I started to do that deeper research, I was like, I guess it's not entirely decentralized. I mean, there's a lot I still don't know. And even people who are experts or do know stuff in the space, how much are they telling you of everything? At least respect to Yanniv Tal with GRT. He had said realistically to have Web3 really be fully adopted. He said we're a long way off. It's like 4 years, probably like 4 years. And so then based on that price, when it was at almost $3, you got to say, okay, then this idea when I thought maybe GRT was going to go to $100 at the end of the year, like that's what I thought in December, that's not realistic. It's just not, based off of what Yanniv said. He had integrity, he's being honest. But you got other people out there who have certain tokens, and they, from my perspective, they are not being honest. And you got to be careful, be really careful about what is being said or isn't said about fundamentals of a project. Blake asked me not to disclose the value of his holdings because crypto can make you a target for hackers. He will only tell me that he has more than £5,000 in investments. I hold a good number of coins, he said modestly, and so far it's going well. I'm guaranteed to make about £1,500 a week, and definitely, Blake says with confidence, it's just overwhelming because I've never had so much money in my life. The week after we speak, the global cryptocurrency market crashes, driven in part by a crackdown on Bitcoin from Chinese regulators. Where do these young people go when they want advice on their investments? Social media, of course. TikTok is full of fast-talking finance gurus, squinting at trading charts while rattling off jargon. Amateur investors coalesce around YouTube communities or pay to enter private Discord groups where signals on which stocks they should invest in or trade it. And look, I was reading this and I felt sick to my stomach because I'm like, well, I'm part of this. But what I hope is that I've just been sharing my journey here. But what does concern me earlier on, when I'd done some videos talking about, like, when I'd gone into Harmony and that, and then people were like, God, when you said about Harmony, I went in and I made these great gains. But then what if people had entered later on and then when the market crashed, they had losses? That just makes me feel awful. My whole point of when I started this channel has not changed. If you look at the about on my channel, it said about awareness, to increase awareness, consciousness of cryptocurrency. And, I'd really questioned when I went on the sidelines, am I going to be done? Like, am I not going to be able to do this channel anymore? Because I do love the space. And then when I talked to Roger yesterday, he's like, Joe, I love when you do your cryptocurrency videos and that, and please, you got to get back on there and do something. So Roger, I'm doing this video because of you, because you just survived. You just, thank God you got out of the hospital. And thank you for that. This is, because I haven't done video for 2 weeks, this is a bloody long video. I'm going to hop off shortly. This is like a really epic catch up. My next video is not going to be as long as this. But I feel I want to update you on everything from the past 3 weeks of what's happened. Virtually none of these communities or content creators adhere to FCA guidance around the giving of financial advice. There are a lot of fools and a lot of apps talking nonsense, says Poku Banks. Some of the things I've said, out of not to mislead, not to be malicious, some of the things I have said have been foolish. Definitely, I have said stupid things. And I regret that, and I'm sorry, and not in a way like phase. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scam save the kids. No, I really am. I'm just learning here. I have to just keep saying this. I don't know what I don't know. I just don't know everything. I'm just sharing what I am learning as I'm going along with my experience, even with whatever the certifications that I have. It's not, ultimately, sort of like that other guy said, oh, it's Elon's fault with his tweet. Each one of us has to accept responsibility for what we do within crypto. Um, the University of Nottingham student has 327,000 followers on TikTok, where he shares videos about entrepreneurship, affiliate marketing, investing. Please be really careful of affiliate marketing. CoffeeZilla did a video on some people who are very big in the motivational development space, and talked about stuff that is very scammy in affiliate marketing. I worked for a bit. I worked on that team because I was like, oh, I want to learn from the best. And I was on that sales team, and I was disgusted by what I saw. I ended up being a top sales performer there. But when I started to, after basically about 5 weeks in, I started to see some stuff, and I was like, hang on, let me not be judgmental here. And then 7 weeks in, I was horrified, and then within just under 2 months, I was like, I can't do this. I cannot sell this. So please be really, 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 really careful with anything affiliate marketing, signing up for certain stuff. Please be careful. And I think, the more videos I watch from CoffeeZilla, it was, I started to have, I feel like, a spiritual awakening around this, and go, oh my gosh, like this, wow, there's nothing wrong with learning, education, but if anything costs over a certain amount of money that is not a personal service, it's a red flag. Please be careful. Please be careful. Banks is always careful to emphasize in his videos that he is not a qualified financial advisor, and it urges people to do their research before investing. But the thing is that even when, say, someone says that, even when I say that, like, what I'm sharing is not financial advice, but maybe some people will still take it as that, even though I'm saying that it's not. Because sometimes people are vulnerable, and they are, maybe they don't have the strength to have the awareness to think for themselves, or they're just too blinded. My main ambition is to get personal finance taught in schools, he says. That's why I started making content online. Banks see his generation's mania for financial investing as partly COVID-induced. When the lockdown hit, it taught people that their jobs aren't safe, that you need to develop a source of income. So lockdown accelerated people starting side hustles because they were bored. Plus, crypto has been booming. People are seeing crazy returns. Yes, I agree with that. He is scathing about the bad actors that proliferate in this space. Yep, as am I. There are always people pushing courses are just regurgitated information from the internet, or showing off a flashy lifestyle just to get the views. And I feel Crypto, I know tons of people love him. I have loved Crypto, but I also feel there's a subtle thing of showing off the lifestyle of, here, like, let me just check in and do this video. Yeah, you're like hanging out on a yacht in Monte Carlo for the Grand Prix, you're on a private jet, you're in a really nice car. It's not being said. And yes, you're walking around barefoot, maybe, outside and drinking, having healthy juices and stuff. But there is something like, it's just like in film industry, we say show, don't tell. I just feel like there's a show, like I'm showing how wealthy I am. I'm showing how much I have, but I'm not telling you, and by the way, I'm just doing a $3 million trade right now. I know the feeling for me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so insignificant. Me doing a $1,000 trade, it's nothing next to Crypto's $2 million trade. I better put some more in. Maybe one day I'll get to that. That was like that unconscious thing for me at that subtle level. And I'm a spiritual person, but I also, and I've simplified my life a lot, but I am still materialistic. I still do like nice things, but yeah, being aware of when it gets greedy or ostentatious, or it's a showing off. Nothing wrong in having nice things, but that for me is something that I've been going over in terms of the triggers that would lead me into feeling worthless, and then let me go and do a $20,000 trade. Okay, so flashy lifestyle. On social media, forex traders pose in front of luxury cars, holding thick wads of cash with arms full of designer shopping bags, advertising courses that promise to teach their followers the skills to become fabulously rich like them. People like Tai Lopez was obviously doing that back in 2017 with the crypto stuff, where it went from knowledge, teaching knowledge, and then suddenly it was all crypto. And I've been to Tai Lopez's house. I liked Tai. God, I even wrote about when I went to his house and everything in my book, Big Miracles. I do regret that now. I can't change that. And I'm not saying he's a bad person, but I remember at the time I was doing some other stuff, and I asked him a question when I was in his private mentor group, and he didn't. I said, look, I'm an award-winning. I didn't say where I was specifically. I'm an award-winning author, and I've been coaching and doing well for years. And he was like, you know what? You should start an orange juice business and do dog walking. I was like, but I've been in personal development for 20 years. No. You go and do dog walking. I was pissed. I was really pissed from that. And he was in my book. I'm an idiot for that. That's me, probably some part of me wanting to keep up with the Joneses, be cool. Oh, if just now in this space, it's like, well, what if BitBoy would notice me? I go on BitBoy, but I've seen BitBoy go into certain tokens after they've had massive pumps and then they've crashed. I'm thinking, wow, you must have lost quite a bit of money there. BitBoy, he confesses that he has had a massive gambling issue, and to me it looks like, I think it's great he's providing jobs for people, he's educating people, and then there's a dark side to it as well. There's negatives there. So anyway, you can see here certain people here promoting part of the problem. This last part of the article, part of the problem is that it's enormously difficult for the average amateur retail investor to discern which creators are well-intentioned and knowledgeable and which are scammers. Pump and dump schemes where investing gurus purchase worthless stock in advance and then encourage their unwitting followers to invest in it to drive the price up are commonplace. Meanwhile, many of these self-styled gurus make their money by selling courses rather than investing in the market. And so, great examples of that, like MILF token, or just any other sort of fad that is out there. I mean, there's plenty. I could just name a ton of them. I can't think of them right now. And I'm not concerned about anybody, because I think it's their own choice. And if you want to be an idiot with your money, I believe that anyone with the brains to put money into the stock market knows the risks. And if you don't, that's your fault, says the Stock Lizard King, an online investment guru with 125,000 Twitter followers and a private paid-for Discord group with 22,000 members. The 25-year-old trader from Boston, Massachusetts, declines to give me his real name. Through his community, he encourages people to play the game as best as you can so you're not financially trapped for your entire life. However, he does not have any qualifications to give financial advice, having studied marketing at college. There is risk, and they have to be aware of it, he says of his community. You can't just go dumping your life savings into the stock market and hope you're going to be filthy rich at the end of it. It takes a lot of skills. But exactly, and how much skill does this guy have? How much skill, even though, I have something from Ivan on Tech, Morales, now renamed, I guess he's renamed it Morales Community. Nathan's post, he said he'd done 10 years of trading before he felt like he really knew what he was doing, and he's won awards and as a trader. Although it may seem counterintuitive, what is driving so many young people to embrace the volatility of the cryptocurrency and stock markets is the same force that makes their lives feel uncontrollable and chaotic. Yes, that's what I said at the beginning. It's like, for me, I went on the sidelines because I felt like crypto was starting to control me instead of me being in control of my portfolio. When your future feels inherently uncertain and unpredictable, with global financial systems rigged against you, exactly, that's what I was saying about the bots, and stability, home ownership, and the promise of upwards social mobility, a gift only earlier generations had within their reach, why not embrace risk? And that was very much, I was falling into that thinking. And now I've got my money on the side. I'm like, you know what? I can afford to buy a home. And I'm gonna wait and do that. That's what I want to do now. It's so hard to prepare for the future now, Blake says. It's never been more difficult. The competition is out there. Everyone has a degree, so degrees are meaningless. It's so difficult to buy a house. I feel screwed by the college system, blah, blah, blah. I graduated, but this whole system is set up to keep you trapped with student debt and credit card debt. And I'm going to tell you this, that when I did have debt, And at one point, I was over $100,000 in debt from certain business decisions. Stupid, because I didn't do due diligence. And thankfully, I've been solvent, had no debt for since October 2019. And I always thought, well, when I'm out of debt, I'll feel peaceful. Well, even now, with over, having at this point just over in my journey over $75,000 and then a few thousand in stocks, that at times I do not feel peace. I do not feel calm with things. I still feel the same anxiety as when I was over 100 grand in debt. At one point, I think it was almost 150,000 in debt. It was insane. So, that's the thing with the crypto of, if you double your money, if you triple, if you quadruple, I mean, that's fantastic. Really, that is fantastic. Why can one not be grateful for that instead of it's got to just be 100x, 1,000? We've been spoiled with 1,000x gains and some tokens 4,000x gains, and then it's like 5% seems like nothing. There is another factor underpinning this speculative interest in cryptocurrency markets. We live in a society where monetary recompense has become increasingly disconnected from our labor. Freelancers in the gig economy work 16-hour days without benefits, while the 1% accrue ever vaster riches. According to the Resolution Foundation, it would take more than 400 years for the median household in the UK to save enough disposable income to reach the average wealth of the richest 1% of the population, right? And this is why people are piling into crypto. People from Black, Asian, and minority backgrounds, the people most likely to invest in the risky fund. I don't know if I agree with that. I think all races are, on average, learn less than their white peer. I'm not so with that part of it, because I just think it's, I don't think it's just that. I think many people, whether they come from a wealthy background or whatever their color is. Meanwhile, social media has swung doors open on the lifestyle of the super rich, and then the TikTok and Jake Paul, pumping these different cryptos. And so I'm going to wrap it up now on this. I think it's pretty clear that I'm just going to go down to the last part of this article. I'm going to come back to Noor. I think about Noor often in the weeks after we speak. To my relief, when I check back in 6 weeks after our first chat, she's in better place. I won most of it back, Noor says. She's still £6,500 in debt, but has managed to stem further losses. But she's whispering again. Her boyfriend still doesn't know. We're meant to be saving for a house, Noor explains. She managed to find her way out of her hole by investing in gold, silver, and pharmaceuticals and cutting out the cryptocurrency market entirely. She is sanguine about the white-knuckle experience. I'm not angry, she says. It's my fault. But Noor does blame the investing apps for sucking her in. I'm not going to use these digital products anymore. The interest rates are super hidden, and if you keep the notifications on, you're basically their slave. She quit the YouTube community too after becoming dispirited with the expertise of the trader she was following. He always says, I know what I'm talking about, but then he told me to buy more gold, which crashed. Yeah, which is like, again, I'm sorry to single out Crypto or Carl the Moon. It's up, down, we're going higher highs, we're going to, again, BitBoy, with I'm buying into XRP. Oh, I'm selling all my XRP. Oh, I'm sorry, XRP army, I upset you. It just feels so toxic to me at points, instead of focusing on the wonderful innovation and the good things that are happening in space, like Ivan on Tech covers. Noor's place is to hold her existing portfolio for a long time, invest in companies she believes in, and stop checking her investments constantly. Well, that's what I've said at points, and then suddenly I'll get triggered, and then I go and do something and take a different action. In other words, she has become an investor, not a speculator. I don't think I've cracked it, she says. I don't think anyone can crack it, but the worst thing I ever did was listen to other people who claim they cracked it. Exactly. I think that's a good awareness. For every Noor quitting the gold rush in favor of slower and steadier gains, there are countless young people hoping to cut out of the rat race, dreary job, and milestone student debt by getting rich on the stock market. The roulette wheel spins, the notifications ping, the clock ticks past amateur hour, and the retail investors rush in. Oh, I love that last paragraph. Beautiful writing there. And let's just acknowledge the writer here from The Guardian on this, by Sirin Kale. And I think just and conclude that is It's just like the whole thing of it is, I want to hear from you in the comments. This, as I said, is an ultra long catch up, but for those of you who maybe feel like have searched and looked up, done the search term cryptocurrency addiction, that this, I think, I'm hoping this will bring you some type of hope, peace, awareness around this. And I did not expect to be in this place today. I felt like I wanted to hop on and be like, hi, I'm Joanna and I'm a crypto addict. What would it be if it was 12 step? I'm powerless over trading cryptocurrencies, and my cryptocurrency portfolio is unmanageable. Anyone in 12 step will appreciate that. But yeah, I'm going to see what I do next. And my last video prior to this, I was about to do a day trade in Doge, and then the price didn't come down to the level I wanted, was just shy of that. And I decided not to do that trade. And as I said, I'm feeling much healthier, much better overall. Another channel I do like very much as well, that I feel is sincere and real, supportive of this space, is that, because I've sort of bashed a couple of other channels out here, is Uncomplication. I feel like there's a lot of sincerity in that. I feel that I think cryptocurrency, decentralized finance overall, it's going to be here to stay. I think it is great. I think it's very unfortunate that there is a mania, there is a frenzy and speculation, and that there are scammers in this place, because it does a disservice to the developers, to the programmers, to the people who have a vision to use tech in a positive way to improve many different industries, whether in farming, medicine, architecture, transportation systems, supply, demand, banking. There are so many positives with it. And I just feel that when the bear market eventually does come, I'm sorry for the people that are going to get wrecked, but I feel that it will be a good positive cleansing, so that things can really establish themselves in a foundation, so that there can be more of a sobering, realistic price point on certain cryptocurrencies, so that people don't get scammed, so people don't lose everything, and that the projects that are really valuable truly can shine, grow. And then if one chooses to invest in those projects or to day trade in them, that one can do so in a way where it feels good. It feels part of being something good. All right, I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network. And again, thank you for being here with me on my journey and my awareness, my growth around cryptocurrencies. And I am sending you lots of love.